Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Unnamed here, and today I'm going to be showing off how to refit an old ship. Now, over here, I have an old version of my Anvil Destroyer. Now, this I made back when I first got the game. I thought, I wanted to do a ship kind of similar to EVE Online, kind of the vertical design, and I didn't get very far with this thing. As you can see, it's pretty ugly in here. I've got unnecessary doors, tons of gyroscopes. This was back when they weren't very powerful. I have tubes just going everywhere. You have to fly up in here to get into this section, which isn't even fully piped up or anything. I was planning on putting together some kind of assembly room in here, can't speak, ammo production. Oh my god, why is that so hard to say? But yeah, I never really got around to it. I never finished it because I had pretty much given up on this ship. Like, as you can see, I'm just kind of all over the place with this thing. And the ship's design, it's not very good at all. Like, what is this? That's awful. Ugh. Way too many gyroscopes back here. It's just really ugly, honestly. Then you come down here, and I just have this reactor sitting here. It's way too big. It's just not a very good ship design. So, I took it out, and I did a bit of remodeling. As you can see, I've mixed some light armor and heavy armor. I've added more guns, updated the shape a little bit. I kept these front rocket launchers because, well, they seem to be pretty useful. I added more side-to-side thrusters. Well, added period. I didn't have them there before at all, which was a problem. Like I said, light armor in some of the non-vital areas. Slapped on some solar panels. Got rid of a few thrusters up there that you see here. I didn't need those. They were completely unnecessary and were taking up way too much power. Which is partly why I added these solar panels, because I've got just as many batteries packed into this thing, but now I can recharge them without having to dock up anywhere. I did oxygenate the ship, so there are oxygen farms, more missile turrets, and an improved airlock. So let's go ahead and get inside this bad boy. Nope, don't turn off yet. Come on. Ugh, okay. And now we're inside. As you can see, we have oxygen in here. And already, this is so much more improved. Instead of those horrible tubes, I'm now using stairs. Because, come on, you wouldn't want to be a filthy savage and not use stairs, like a proper gentleman. And I'm still working on this. I have to move all this back there, so I have some more room in here. But let's head up to the production room. Yeah! That is a massive improvement compared to the other ship. I've got 2 jump drives in here. Everything's conveyored up, and I've even got mod attachments for my assembler, my refinery. I've got 6 cryopods. The ship houses a crew of 7. And I don't even need to use my spotlight in here. I don't know why it was on. As you can see, I've got lots of cargo space for missiles and all that. My oxygen tank, oxygen generator. So now that you've seen the top, start heading back down. You've already seen back there. This is the main entrance. I'd like to isolate it, but unfortunately, well, I'd like to isolate each room with a separate stairway and all that, a separate door and all, but yeah, it just doesn't want to work with the space I have. But the ship does appear much, much more open. I've gotten rid of some of the more superfluous gyroscopes here. I've replaced a lot of the heavy armor because it was just unnecessary in here, and it was just really weighing this ship down. And here again you have an open space that leads to an isolated CIC control room. As you can see, 6 technicians and the pilot. And it even has its own oxygen supply. Heading still further down, the improved generator room. Now I've got, let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 16 small reactors on top of the batteries, which are semi-auto, and the solar panel, so I have a good deal of power at full tilt, just spinning in all directions, firing all my thrusters at once. It only uses about 70% power, and that's just like really, really pushing it. Still further, down here, as you can see, you can easily get to all the reactors down here. Not so much the batteries, but you know, those are kind of a permanent fixture. And even still further down, kind of sitting on top of one of the thrusters. I don't really like that, but yeah, I do what I can with the space I have. A couple of, I guess, beds, we can call them. I mean, the ship is 100% vanilla, which is kind of a departure from what I usually build these days, but this is kind of harkening back to my time just starting off and messing around, building whatever the heck I wanted. So I wanted to make this as vanilla as possible, and I managed to achieve that. There are no real mods for this ship except a turret placement mod, which makes it so you can place turrets closer together, which is extremely useful, and I suggest you guys use that. It's a very minimal mod, but it's really, really fantastic. And as you can see, basically what I did, I just started carving things out and putting floors in here and there. It's really not that complicated. Really, the biggest thing, the biggest time sink, I should say, was trying to figure out where exactly I wanted everything to go. Because that part was a little bit difficult. Like, how do I fit all of this into this tiny ship? How do I, well, not really tiny, but it's very segmented, and I wanted everything to kind of be easily accessible and kind of flow together. Like, you don't, like I said, you don't need to use the tubes anymore. You can use these stairs to get up and down, move around the ship. There are some areas that I have opened up by removing some thrusters and some unnecessary armor blocks. And really just opened up so much more space in this thing. It's almost unreal. It's really just fantastic. And I've even managed to reduce the weight significantly. Let me go ahead and get to my cockpit. Not this level, next level down. And I'll bring up the weight so I can show you guys exactly how much I cut off. Okay. So this is 3.6 million kilos. I mean, that's pretty hefty, but considering that this thing is almost entirely made up of heavy armor, not that bad. Let's go ahead and get out and go to the other ship, and I'll go ahead and show you just how much that thing weighs. I kind of came out the wrong door. And it's dark on the side, light on the side. Good. So I can see where I'm going. Okay. My light's back on. Yeah, I mean, just look at this. This is just pitiful and ugly. Okay, so, let's see. This thing... 4 million kilos. So I managed to remove about 1 million kilos while making the ship look beefier. And I did that by removing a lot of the unnecessary heavy armor plating that really I didn't need. Like down here, it's just thrusters down there, up and down thrusters. I can lose a couple of those. In here, well, my control room isn't there, so I don't need the heavy armor there. Up here, yeah, my production, I need the heavy armor here. Right here, that's just my jump drives. I can easily repair those, that's not that big of a deal. And they can take a pretty large beating, they're pretty hefty. So by removing a lot of the heavy armor, I cut down on weight while being able to expand the ship's frame, giving it a bit more of a menacing and intimidating kind of cyclopean appearance. While this thing, it's basically just, you know, a few missile turrets and some rockets. That's not really all that intimidating. This thing, it's got quite a few more guns. It's a bit more intimidating. It's got the machine gun turrets here. Now, the only problem that I found with this ship is that anything like directly underneath it, the missile turrets will try to shoot through the ship, as well as the machine gun turret here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I thought Keen had fixed that little issue, but no, I guess not. And yeah, like I said, I'm still working on this thing. I kind of want to encompass these missile turrets a little bit better. Maybe expand a little bit. I don't mind if I increase the weight of this ship at this point, as long as I'm building outward and expanding and adding more to it instead of it just sitting there as one big giant hunk of heavy armor and, you know, not being all that useful. Because when I'm building a fleet, I want something that's relatively simple yet very effective. This thing, it's not really all that complicated. It's just a few floors stacked on top of each other, some production room in here, a couple of jump drives, and that's really it. I haven't added any of the timer blocks or programmable blocks or LCDs that I usually add to my other ships. I might go ahead and do that for this one. I mean, I don't see why not. Having a display showing, you know, damaged blocks, oxygen levels, hell, even cargo capacity. That's all extremely useful. And I suppose I'll give this thing a once-over, one of my repair drones, and I'll be releasing it on the workshop for you guys to enjoy. So look forward to that in the coming days, and I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. See you around.